Thank you for that session. We are blessed. You can have your seats. Aaron Mode, you can go to the registration briefly. Welcome to this afternoon session. We are blessed. We had a very rich morning. And this afternoon, we're also going to have another very entertaining session where we are going to have sharing of experiences from our colleagues. Therefore, it is going to be very interactive because we have a national school, we have an extra county, we have a county school, and we have a sub-county school. And I believe each one of us, we know where we fall, isn't it? Therefore, it is going to be a very good encounter. But before we go to that, I want to welcome Professor to come and greet us, and then we proceed. Welcome. A clap for her as he comes. Good clap, good clap.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Praise be to God. Yes, as you've been told, my name is Professor Wangari Mwai, but my full name is Venerable Canon Professor Wangari Mwai because I'm also a clergy with the Anglican Churches of Kenya, and I am grateful, very, very grateful to be here. Thank you, Reverend Lucy. I'll never get enough once to thank you for what you do for us, and specifically for me. She has a soft spot for me, and I have a soft spot for her. And we gel very well. I am going to be very brief. As you've been told, I'm here to represent the international school, because there's national, there's whatever. This one is not, it's actually universal school, under the PCA. Universal school, because a university is universal. It covers the entire world, and therefore be happy that you have the pinnacle of your education as a Presbyterian in prayer. Mine is to urge each one of you to feel very, very free to come to prayer, or to just get my number and call me in case you need assistance in prayer. I have a very, very open door policy, and therefore I'd like to urge everyone to know me, to get in touch with me. Even let us work together. Let us not work in silos. If you have a praise giving day, you need your students to be spoken to, I'm very, very available. And through Reverend Lucy or directly to me, I will come and I will be with you. This is a great meeting of colleagues and co-drivers, because I'm not only driving prayer, but I'm also in schools. I'm the board chair of some schools in Othaya sponsored by the Anglican Churches of Kenya. I'm the board chair of Othaya Boys for the last 10 years. I'm the board chair of some two-day schools, which are really struggling, but will come up soon in Jesus' name. That is Getodo Secondary and also Irede Secondary. I'm the board chair and sponsor of Irede Primary School, where I'm also the vicar of the parish. So I know what you go through. I know what it means to be a teacher, to be a head teacher, and what it means not to have teachers, what it means not to have food, what it means when students rise up. I know what it means. So I am excited to be here, and I'm also in the church, so I'm able to understand when the Gen Z are not in class, what else do they do in the country and in the world. Therefore, I'm in a very good meeting that I'm fitting in, and I thank God for each one of you. I would like to introduce you briefly to prayer, not the history, because I know you can read it, you can go Google, but I want to introduce to you prayer as a unique university. It is unique in that it is the only PCA university in Kenya and in East Africa. So it is unique in that it serves this church and beyond. And also, like a few other universities, we have faith integrated learning. The synergy between morals, as we told you in the morning, to values, morals, and education and intelligence. So we take multiple intelligences. We are able to reach out to the students as in class and out of class so that emotional intelligence is taken care of and other types of intelligences. So faith-based, but we talk more faith integrated learning. So the holistic reaching out of the student is very clear. I want to give an example of 2 areas. That is our teaching, our education course. We love the way our students go out and they are embraced by various schools. And when they finish their TP, some schools don't want to release them. Why? Because we teach them the values. And we give seminars before they go out on how to maintain the values. And above all, we teach them to, when you go to any school, come out with a project in your area. Some set up libraries, others set up clubs. So when they join any school, they give extra value. And therefore, I would urge each one of you, I'm very ready to partner through Reverend Lucy's office and yourselves to send teachers on TP to your schools. We also have a very strong nursing course under our School of Medical Health. Why I'm singling out nursing is because we don't just teach nurses, we teach them also to be tutors. So our nursing school is very, very popular because the person doesn't have to go and become a nurse. They can also be tutors in nursing colleges. And there are so many colleges, like I know Thika, I don't know what's good or bad about Thika, it's full of colleges. And we tutor students to be tutors of nursing. Another strength we have in PRESPA is a forum for activities for Christian academics. If you're a Christian and you'd like to do research, you'd like to be trained, you can come and you can gain all this knowledge. I'd also like to say that we have unique courses as a unique way. Number 1 was the holistic teaching. Number 2 is the Christian academics are able to come together and have forums. Last year we had a conference on women clergy, and we are going to get more and more coming up. We also have a university chaplaincy training. We have a course that is taking 8 weeks, and you come up as a chaplain, whether for school. And if you have a chaplain who is not trained, feel free to send them to us. It's an online course, so they don't have to come physically. They are doing the course online on every Saturday, and within 8 weeks, you have a good certificate in that area. So that's prayer for you. And what are we requesting you to do for us? We are requesting you to be our messengers out there. First, I've realized that there are many students, although the university is being joined in September, there are many students from your schools who do not know where to go. They are not even sure of where they can go. Can you talk to them about prayer? Can you tell them about our courses? You have the brochure. It takes care of certificates, diploma, degree, and postgraduate courses and short courses. You may have a student with a D+, a C plane, or a C minus. We are ready to accommodate them. We already have a TVET institute, so the diplomas are highly qualified and they have been accredited by TVET. So don't let those students get lost. Remember, we are told that if any one of them gets lost, you are the one to be judged at the long last. Find out where are your students who didn't go to university. Even some with C pluses are still stranded on the ground. Bring at least one of you, If each one of you brought one, you can imagine what a big class you would have. We are struggling with numbers, but I'm sure with your assistance, we can go far. So please, go out to the stranded youths, the students who have done exams in your schools, and introduce them to us. Parents are very, very confused. And sometimes I sit with parents and I wonder where we are going. Then I remember even my mom didn't know what I was going to do, so I forgive them. So we have parents who don't understand degrees, who don't understand much. Please, even if you teach the children career, it's good to also talk to parents about career choices and what degrees what degrees lead to. What careers do the degrees lead to? Usually they ask me, hiyo course ina pesa? Then I tell them, courses hazina pesa. Mtu akimaliza apate kazi ndio kunakuwa na pesa, and even it depends. Getting a job is not a fixed thing. It depends on your performance. It depends even on your connections and all that. Please talk to parents. Send them to us. We can also discuss with them more. Usually at home I get a lot of questions. They come to see me, and I talk to parents, I talk to youths. Sometimes I even find youth studying on the road, and I talk to them, not just about prayer, but about university life and the future. Like last weekend, I had a group of youths, all of the youths in my Udaya town who could come, who are joining university in September. Whatever university they were joining, we were able to sit with them, and you could see how unclear everything is, especially the new funding model. Tomorrow we have a meeting on the same, because the private universities are affected, and even the public ones. So parents don't know where to go, what to do. Please get in touch with the parents, let them know what is right. I'm sending you back to your teachers. Some of them have diplomas. Tell them about our degrees. Some of them have degrees. Tell them about our masters. Some of them would like chaplaincy courses. We even have clinical course, clinical practice education course, which trains people for caregiving. So all those courses. And then lastly, I'm sending it to yourself. Yes, thank you. I'm sending it to yourself. Talk to yourself. What do you need from prayer? How can we partner? What do you need? Remember, you are leaders like me. And what I know is that you stop leading when you stop reading. The tongue twister. You stop leading when you stop. Can you tell your neighbor you stop leading when you stop reading? Some are looking at me. Tell your neighbor. Thank you, and God bless you. Welcome to prayer. Everybody has a brochure, so you should always lead. You should always read to be able to read. You should always read to be able to lead. Yes. So this is the brochure. It has all the degrees and the contacts. God bless you mightily, and as we go ahead, feel free to come to prayer and to talk to prayer. Thank you. The marketers at the back, in case you will have any question.
Thank you for a good summary. Clap for her. To have the masters in a PhD, wale hawana, lakini naona wengi hapa wako na PhD. Hata kama ni ya kuwekelea juu. So thank you, Madam, for that brief information about our university. Let's call it our university. So, in the interest of time, I don't want to talk much. I want to welcome our Director of Christian Education, Reverend Ruse, take us through the session. Karibu, Madam.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Muiruri, for that wonderful leadership. Thank you, Prof, for coming, and thank you for sharing the information with us. We're excited to have this opportunity to share our experiences, and so we want to do it in style, in this kind of a setup. So it's going to be interesting, so you can relax and just enjoy, soak it in, because we're going to share from different perspectives, and I'll be shortly introducing the panel. I'm Lucy Wawero, your host. We are actually live on CAC TV, and so we want to welcome our viewers as well. And if you want to interject through writing, feel free. We are live, and we are also trending on our socials, CAC TV Kenya on Facebook and CAC TV Kenya on YouTube and also on X. And just to remind us, I think I promised the guys out there, wanajiita wakulima wadogo, and therefore I want to give them this pro bono advertisement. They came out there, hustlers. They're not on their own because Mungu ako nao. They're not on their own. People feel like now we are on our own, but we are not. We have God with us. So kindly we request our delegates to just go greet them even. Say thank you to them for coming to showcase what they have. And if you like something they have, please buy. Let's build them. They came all the way. So we have people offering, e-learning materials, notes, exams. And we are in the IT era. We have insurance people, we have people doing kitchenware, we have, our own wear, belts, no, the wares are shirts and such, but we have school things like belts, registers, books, quality assurance, policy books, all this is a wide range, and also men wear, sweaters, it's a bit cold now, of course. Food supplements, we need to be very healthy. We have rubber stamps, we have revision materials, we have the Poya University, those ones have represented themselves right here. So let's encourage our brothers and sisters who are out there. Now, on my immediate right is Mr. P.K. Kamau, the principal Nkai Moronya Secondary School. Please say hi and tell us where is that school, what's the enrollment. Just 1 minute introducing your school.
Thank you very much. I'm Kamau PK, like you have been told. I'm the principal of that school, Kaimurunya Secondary School in Kajiado North, Ogata Rongai. The school is at a population of 1604.
Yes. Next to Mr. Kamau is Madam Jadida Mwangi, the Chief Principal, Alliance High School, our 001 school in girls' education in Kenya. 001.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Jedida Mwangi, Principal, Alliance Girls High School, a national school that I believe all of us know. And as at now, we are at a population of 2,377 students. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the two can share the mic. That's okay. Next to her is Mr. Morora Getonga from Geru Secondary School. Karibu sana, Mr. Morora.
Thank you, Madam. I'm Morora Getonga Njevenari, Principal Geru Boys. Geru is in Imara Sub-County, Rakaniri County, around Chogoria, because in the PCA circles, we know Chogoria. Geru is a boys' school, population 366, and we are doing well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On my extreme right is our chaplain, Reverend Stephen Kafufa from Thika High School, and also the acting RES in Central Region. Karibu sana, Reverend.
Good afternoon. I'm Stephen Kafufa, Thika High School chaplain, and also acting RES Regional Education Secretary, Central Region. Thika High School was started immediately after Alliance Girls by the same missionaries.
And we'll hear more about that, but how is the population like?
The population is 2,000.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. So let's get into it. Mr. Kamau's school, because it's common knowledge, it's your city, and we celebrate you. Your school does very well in Kajiado County, and maybe even beyond. I don't know, you can tell us about that. And many people wonder, and I know people have come to visit the school, 1,600 strong school that does very well with a high transition to university, and yet the environment is not very easy. So could you just describe to us the kind of environment where your students come from, and then what is this that makes you shine? What is it that you do? Would love to learn from you.
Thank you very much. Kaimurunya Secondary School is in Ongatarongai, next to Kware Sram. And majority of our students normally come from there. We serve quite a number of primary schools. No wonder that's why our population is that high. And I could possibly say last year we took 54 to the university. This is a day school. And it is all about, first of all, the principal conceiving the vision. Because if the principal cannot conceive the vision, no other person can do it. And after doing that, there is that realization that I cannot get it alone. We do it with our teachers. We work closely together. I also highly engage the stakeholders. And I have no option to work in the other than to work, in the sense that even the sponsor, Madam Nuse herself, is in the neighborhood. The Secretary General is the neighborhood. Therefore, I'm under cross monitoring, and therefore I have to work, cross watch. And we work as a team. We try to create a lot of time with the children. We lead a seminar our parents. We don't get tired of it. And we move as one. I don't know whether I've answered it.
Yes, and we would like to hear, how do you interest these young people who have other things distracting them? How do you interest them? Because I must say, I had a nephew who was in the school,
Yes.
and he kept saying, you know, next week I'll be boarding. How is that possible? I'll not be going home next week. And then you hear them saying they're going to school on a Sunday, and they seem to be doing that so willingly. They're not under pressure.
Well, this is a day school, purely a day school, but we try to create a lot of time. And you know, in our effort to create this time, there are challenges that we meet, like there's the Education Act, the challenges, but we do a lot of sensitization. Being a school in town, at times we get a lot of attacks from the things that we do, because in town there is right everywhere, and we have talked to the parents and the local leadership to allow the children to extend even their stay there. At times we get a lot of attack. At times we find ourselves using bloggers to fight in the same very wall. Therefore, anytime we are attacked, the attackers are also attacked by the community, because the community has embraced the school. I can say, out of the performance that we have realized for some time now, there are many people that are out to protect us, that anytime you even try to go to Jogo, the people you meet there are parents in our school, and therefore we enjoy a lot of support. And through that, we have been able to do a lot. Like I could talk of 2 months back, some of our students were seen by Mukomen, the former Minister of Transport, going home around 8. And he stopped, talked to them. It was right dark. And out of the same, he said that he will ensure there is electrification all the way from Cooperative University up to the school. So you can see, out of the performance, you only start to enjoy support.
Wonderful. And please don't try that at home, that when they attack, you attack. Oh, but of course, we got the point. Thank you very much. Mr. Murora, tell us about the transition from your former school to this one, and perhaps the challenges and what you did in your former school and how you've been able to settle in the new school.
Thank you. Madam, I must say
Use the mic.
that our both schools, one is Mekumbune Boys in Immense South, that is in Meru County, that is Mekumbune Boys, then in Gerum Boys, which is, like I said, that is in Imara, Tarakanidi. They had the same similarities. They had the same issues. One, I inherited Mekumbune that and 147 students. And it's like those boys were not trained to learn. They were not doing exams. Immediately you mention exams, they get out of the gate. And sometimes we could give what we call random exams without mentioning that we are doing, because we would have no one to do. You don't work alone, like my brother is saying. We brought the teachers together. We even couldn't go out with the board members. And without also knowing what I was doing, I said, these boys are fearing exams. We are going to give them very simple exams. Very simple. I said mathematics, even if it is 1 + 1, let the students say 2, aone anaweza kupata. We continued that way, implying upon them that you cannot do anything without the exams. And the whole thing started working. They started loving exams. They started demanding for the exams. The number of strikes that were there got greatly reduced. So we managed to move from 2.4 to 2.5 to 3.1 to 4.5, and I left the school when we were at 4.6. There is no time we declined in this case, so our method worked. When I left this school when I was not ready to leave, because I had a vision. There's some targets I wanted to meet. There's a place I wanted us to get. But at this time, everyone appreciated the school. Even Beleni, not many would have wanted to go there. But as I left the place, I myself was feeling that I should remain. But the DSC, madam is around. When they tell you to move, you move. So I went to my new school thinking that now I'm going to a bigger school. Unfortunately, the population was lower than the one that I left. I left the other one at 350 students. When I came to this other one, I got 273. The story was the same. Dormitories down, window panes down. And I was saying, if this is God, this is what God you have chosen for me, then I'm ready. But I remembered then the other school was like a classroom for me where I was learning. So I tried to employ the same method here. But one of the things that I told the students in my first assembly is that there must be a change. The only living permanent thing is change. Borrowed from Siku Njema, Kenin waliaura walibora, chakundu mtu ni mabadiliko. And then we started I started by scanning the environment, learning what the students, the issues that the students would have. And I realized that here, it was more of attending to the students' needs than maybe even the fearing of the exams. I realized the whole thing was different. Sorry for that. So I embarked on providing for them. My first project was a generator. When I came with a generator, they danced around it until I realized I've scored. Anytime they go home, they could meet a new thing. Their dormitories painted. I really took debts to make the student comfortable. I have done dormitories. They go, they meet at a planted flowers. They go, they meet, I've done a gate. They started associating with the school. My boys are settled. We are doing well.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think he deserves a clap for that. And it's not a suit. You don't use one style. We need to embrace diversity in the leadership, because you might want to copy paste and then it doesn't work out. Madam Jerida, you are in the Alliance Girls High School. I mean, where we don't want to be associated with. But please tell us, were you always this national material? Who is Madam Jedida? Where did you come from? Can you just briefly take us through your journey and process?
Thank you, Reverend. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not start serving God at Alliance Girls High School, and precisely I've been there for 1 year and 2 terms. I have had a journey as a teacher, as a principal. And because we are principals, let me not go back to where I started as a teacher. Let me start from where I started as a principal. The first school that I was promoted to go to be a principal was a school that was carved from a primary school and therefore what I was given as a school was a piece of land and a small, tiny office in the primary school. And I was told, that is your school, Madam Jedida. Get your students, get your facilities, and you run the school. And of course, all of us know that tunatamani kuwa principal, isn't it? But tunatamani kuwa principal in a school that is a school. Not a school that is a piece of land. So I started from there, and I did not look back. I just said this is, actually I had really prayed because I had gotten an admission to do master's degree. At the same time, I got a letter to be a principal of a piece of land. So because I had prayed and I had, like somebody said, you even look for prayer warriors, and we agreed you can do masters when you are a what? A principal. So I took the challenge, and of course the school started and it grew. Then from there, after doing quite a lot of work, there's a school that was on a downward trend, a boarding school, an extra county school that was on downward trend. And after growing this small one to about 400 students, now my employer said, not here anymore. Go to that school that is on a downward trend. Interestingly, that school was beyond this day school that I was in. And many a times, the girls were going on strike and moving out of school in night dresses. And we could meet them as we go to our day school. So I told my God again, now I'll be dealing with the people who walk out of school with what? Night dresses. However, in that second school, I was able to, by the help of God, stabilize the school. And I would want us to really appreciate what God can do. The school stabilized, and shortly after that, I went to Mutumu Girls. I do not want to talk much about Tumutumu Girls. It is well known. It is a relative to Alliance Girls High School. They are cousins or their sisters. So that is where now I moved from there. I went to Moi Forces Academy, Lanet. A school that maybe I would want to say a word or two about. Moi Forces Academy, Lanet is a school that takes 80% of children of the military personnel. 80%. And those children, majority of them, do not really live with their parents, because you know all their parents are serving us elsewhere. So you double up. The staff there, you double up as teachers, literally, as teachers and also what? Parents. And I thought I had had some experience as a teacher, as a principal, in the 3 schools that I've talked about. That is Fari, that was a field, the Ragwa Girls, then Tumutumu. But at Moi Forces Academy, Lanet, ladies and gentlemen, that is when I look like I awakened to the fact that we do not just work, we serve. Why did I realize that? Because the parents to these children were serving us, putting their lives on the line. That's when I woke up and said, Kube, there are people who work for me elsewhere as I serve here. And ladies and gentlemen, I doubled the way I used to think about my work. And I told God to forgive me for any time I got tired to serve. Because we may be getting tired, those are people who put their lives on the what? On the line. And many other times you could see a Land Rover. When you see a Land Rover get into the compound, you just know somebody is going to bury the parent. Somebody is going to bury the parent. Anytime I saw the Land Rover, and the office was strategically placed so you could see that Land Rover coming in. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point I would want to say, when we are serving God as principals, let us serve wholeheartedly heartedly. Let us not get tired. Somebody else is serving you, is serving me, either as an agricultural officer, as a military officer, whatever. Let us serve wholeheartedly. Then after that, I had not stayed for long in Moi Forces Academy Lanet. Let me say here, I thought I would retire there, and I had dedicated my life, my whole self, to serve in that school. But that was not what God wanted. Again, I found myself coming to Alliance Girls High School. And there's a way we think it is a bed of what? There's a way we think, yeah, Jedida, you are at Alliance, and you are at the best. I won't complain, but I can also say it is not a walk in the park. Students at Alliance Girls High School are across the board. From I would say a child from the most needy family is at Alliance. Brilliant child. And another one from the highest, where we are talking about opulence and affluence and all those words, they are there. Of course, the parents are the same across the what? The board. So it's a place you are called at night, and the caller, you can't say no. You can't say, I want to receive this call. There is another one you'll call yourself, looking for where this parent is. But all in all, it is well, and we serve God. Thank you.
Wow, what a journey. What an encouragement. Appreciating the process. And that you can come from a field to a 400 plus capacity school. And that following the process and serving faithfully, you can be lifted even when you don't imagine it would happen. That you find yourself now serving at that level. May God help us to remember that we are serving God. And He sees. And God appreciates. Thank you very much. We are in the process of celebrating 133 years, of course. We cannot stop talking about that. How can we keep calm when we are 133? We can't. And so we learn, every day we are learning something about our history. So Reverend Kafuva, please tell us just a little bit about Thika High School, how it started. I mean, that would be interesting. Did you know kind of a session? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Director. Thika High School started in 1951, but before that, it wasn't Thika High School. Let's go back to the beginning of the last century, when Mambere School was started by the Presbyterian Church, the current Musagitau. Then in 1913, churches came together and they formed an alliance of churches, the Anglican, the Methodist, the Reformed Church, the AIC, and they came together and they wanted to do things together. But they couldn't come with something in common in 1913. But after a few years, after 13 years, in 1926, they thought of starting a school. And the Presbyterian Church donated land, and together they formed an Alliance High School in 1926. So Alliance was called Alliance because of the alliances of churches. So today probably it will be called Coalition High School. Did you know Alliance was a mixed school? Started as a mixed school. So today there are people that are leaving. They are both old, they are ladies and they are old students of Alliance High School and of Alliance Girls. So later in 1948, the Church of Scotland missionaries, that is the PCA, they started a girls' school. That time it was called African Girls High School in 1848, later to be called Alliance Girls. The missionaries, the PCA, thought we should have another school that will take care of the locals in Central Region. And in 1951, they started a school. First, they started as an agriculture school. Later, in 1954, they made it a high school and called it the Goto Boys. The church sat down again and said, no, we cannot have two boys' schools against one girls' school. Why should we have the Goto Boys and Alliance Boys, Alliance High School? So we are going to think of a solution. And they thought, they had started a teacher's college, Thika Teacher's College, back then, 1950, in Thika. Said, now what we are going to do is to swap, to relocate these boys to go to Thika. So they did that in 1956. All the students in the Goto Boys were taken to Thika, and the school was named Thika High School. And the teachers that were there in Thika were taken to the Goto, where the Goto Boys was, and it was named the Goto Teachers College. So now you know that history. If you look at the three schools' logos, they are almost like the same. And it goes back to, I don't know whether Alliance you've ever seen that. Alliance Girls is the St. Andrew's Cross, meaning it was from Scotland. Alliance High School is a Red Cross, has been from England. Then Thika High School is a White Cross, has been Ireland. So when you bring them together, you get a Union Jack. If you look at them and you bring them together. So these schools have something in common, and as director is telling us that 3 years, when it started at Kiboezi, today we have many schools all over the country, even a university, because of what missionaries saw and what the PCA took over and continue to do education. So that's the history.
Wow, now we know. And we appreciate God for this journey of 133 years and the wisdom that God granted our forefathers to be visionary, to see far, and we are now reaping those benefits. Mr. Kamau, please give us some tips on how we can work very well, collaborate well with our sponsors. Mr. Kamau, you are a Catholic. And you've blended in so well that people don't even realize it. Only a few of us know. And Mr. Kamau is one that I think for now no one is ready to let you go because you've blended well. So how do you work with the sponsor? How do you ensure that even the values, what the chairman talked about, and the dogmas, whatever system of the sponsor is maintained? How have you maintained this relationship, really?
Thank you very much. First of all, is about who are you serving. First of all, is about the child. And what I can see is that I have had a very good relationship with the PCA church. Because first of all, when I'm in school, I'm a Presbyterian by my way of doing things. I make sure that I'm really working together with the church. By the time I went to that school, the PCA church was not heavily involved in recruitment of the board. I'm the one who sensitized them on the levels of involvement they should have. And one of the principal, the principal I took over is here. And I can say he had set a good tradition. And he also enjoyed support. And what I want to put across is that I'm the one who brought the church heavily on board, because I wanted them to take up their school. I wanted them to be involved in some of the learning matters of the school. We are enjoying the first board where I am the one who sensitized the church that they are the ones supposed to produce the chairperson. And that they have learned it now. I enjoy a lot of support. They have come in very strongly. And they're also training me. I like the way we work.
Wonderful. So we don't celebrate when the the host seems insensitive or unaware in a way, we bring them on board. We should not celebrate behind their back, like saying, wanaweza kaa huko. Because I think if they realize that's what you're doing, then the relationship will not be very nice. So it's good for us to pull every stakeholder, bring them on board, and I think work with them. Madam Jedida, long history, a school that started in 1948. The girls were admitted in the boys' school or in the Alliance High School in 1938. Then later now, the girls' school started. You have maintained a long tradition of a very strong foundation, Christian foundation and Presbyterian foundation for that matter. And you are the top. You remain top in many ways. So how has this helped your school? And how have you made sure that the spiritual pillar remains there and that you keep the light, as your motto is, walking in the light? How have you walked in the light?
Thank you, Reverend. As you say, Alliance Girls High School is not a very young school. And of course, as a national school, there are a lot of expectations. I would like to let my colleagues know that the motto of Alliance Girls High School is walking in the light. And through its history, that has been emphasized. There's a lot of emphasis in the values. There's a lot of emphasis in character. There's a lot of emphasis in spirituality. A lot of emphasis. Starting from admission of Form 1s, there is an elaborate induction of the Form 1 students, elaborate induction of the Form 1 parents. And it doesn't end there, because a Form 1 is attached to a mother, a grandmother, and even a great-grandmother. The mother is the Form 2, the grandmother is the Form 3, and the great-grandmother is the Form 4. And they embrace that. So this Form 1 will grow according to the way she is inducted by the others. Secondly, in the school program, ladies and gentlemen, matters spirituality is very serious. We have our prayers every day. A normal school will have an assembly on a Monday, maybe on a Wednesday, and maybe on a Friday. At Alliance, we have assembly on Monday. On Tuesday, we have a chapel session where we go to the chapel. On Wednesday, we have the houses meeting where prayers are emphasized. On Thursday, again, we have chapel. On Thursday, we have chapel. And then on Friday, we have prayers again during the assembly. In the evening, on daily basis, there are prayers in the classes, well organized, well conducted by the chapel captains. And I would wish to say, at Alliance, the chapel captain is in the circle of the senior school captains. In many schools, the chapel captain takes a back seat and they appear only on Sundays. But at Alliance, they are in the key group of leaders at the school. So I want to say that there's a lot of emphasis on spirituality, a lot of emphasis on the values, and the school service on Sunday is serious business. So I may not be able to say practically what happens, but I can assure you there are those values. I also want to add that we also have a strong culture of the old girls who inculcate the same values to the girls who are in school. So many a times you'll find the preachers invited to preach the girls are the old girls. And we have the involvement of old girls in the school in very, very many ways. So we have maintained that culture. I believe you know that in the past at Alliance, they never accepted a principal who is not an alumni of the school. See, we are aware of that. The principal had to be an alumni of the school. But of course, times have changed. They said they went to Alliance. We tell them we came. But you must, like my colleague here said, you must embrace the values and the culture of the what? Of the school. And you do that intentionally. You be intentional in that. You be deliberate in the same, so that you can fit in. Thank you.
Wonderful. I'll now ask the last round of brief questions as we come to the end of this panel. And this one is to Reverend Kafufa. You are a chaplain in the school. Maybe you can tell us how a day for a chaplain looks like, or generally a week for a chaplain. And then next to that, how has the school supported you as a chaplain? And also how the court that has the jurisdiction perhaps has supported you.
Thika High School has had chaplains from its beginning, and chaplains come and go. I have been there for 8 years. And as chaplain, I don't want to go into theological issues, but as a religious leader, versus a spiritual leader. In every school, there is clubs and societies put together. The CU, the YCS, the SDA, and the Muslims. So that's the work of the chaplain, to bring harmony, to bring them together. The work of a chaplain is to bring values and virtues, the tradition and the dogmas of denomination, but take care of other denominations and other faiths in the school. Work of the chaplain, if my principal was here, because that's what he said after, I was there after 2 years, he said, you have demystified chaplaincy. And I had said in the morning, one of the work of the chaplain is to see that there is stability in that school. As a chaplain, I take care of not only being a chaplain who goes to do prayers in every meeting. In every meeting that the school has, from the BOM, staff room, staff meetings, support staff, and students, I always do the prayers. But I delegate, because we have a chaplaincy committee that takes care of that. But more so, I allow the principal to do the teaching and to manage the school, while I bring in other stakeholders, like the church and the neighbors and the society. So as I was talking in the morning, when the politicians come, I tell them no. You see, they want to see the principal, but I want them to see the church. They go out there campaigning. I remember there was a member of parliament that came and said, this is what, that you have refused to take this one because it doesn't have school fees. It was joining from one. I'll go and tell people about Thika High School, as the PA was sent and the chairman of CDF. And I told them, you go and tell them, I'll write a letter to all the churches to tell them that the CDF cannot support one student to come in the school. I go out and I tell them that the CDF you are not supporting this school because it's an extra county school. You want to support the day school because in the evening they will talk about you. So the work of chaplain cannot be defined, nor his time being defined. I'm in the staff room at 6:20 in the morning, just to encourage and take tea with teachers that have come early in the morning, and I'm there in the evening, even after the preps, because you have prayers every night. I don't conduct, the students conduct the prayers, but at least I go to the hall, I go to the field to see that I'm there. The issues that we are talking about, the GNZs, I come in and I talk to them and I tell them that you must be modest and decent. So the work of a chaplain cannot be defined, nor his time be defined. And one, the chaplain, like when I, Thika High School, before I do that, Thika High School, when I went to Thika High School, and the principal that is there, and he sent me, in fact, he has an apology, and the apology he wrote to Madam Lucy, that I represent him. So I'm here as a chaplain and also as a principal. When Mr. Mulaya came to the school, it had about 680 students, and it was a 4-stream school. Now it's a 10-stream school, and with about 2,002 students. So it's a school that has grown, but has embraced the church. Mr. Mulaya is an Anglican, but you not know whether he's an Anglican because he works very close with the church, and he allows the presbytery. One of the things I tell people is that Mr. Mulaya cannot employ other people before getting to a Thika High School, before getting a chaplain. And this is a challenge to all of us. We get a nurse, we get a farm manager, we get all that, and you may not have a chaplain. Me, I'm a chaplain housed by Thika High School. The other day, did a Wi-Fi in my house. I have generator connected in my house. I get an allowance that takes the presbytery by 20th of every month. My allowance is there. The presbytery pays my salary. And everything that is taken care of, it is between Thika High School and the presbytery. And this is what I like to encourage all of us, that we can work together. Thika High School, the things of strike, we don't hear those. The discipline, I can confidently say that discipline and academic excellence, we are doing quite well. This year, we are taking from last KCSE, out of 450 that did the KCSE, we are taking to university 351. After the 6 national schools in Kiambu County, Thika High School has always, every time, number 7. That's the leading extra county school in Kiambu County. Thank you.
Wonderful sharing. Thank you very, very much. Now we flow backwards. Mr. Murora, yes. You seem to have an anointing for lifting small schools to become big schools. So I'm wondering, what is in your attitude that helps you to embrace? Of course, there's a low moment when you know where you're going and when you arrive and people don't want exams and all these things. How do you manage to switch your attitude to love what you're doing, and then how do you draw the rest to believe in that? I'm sure every time they are more discouraged than you, the people you find in those places. So what is this, and where do you draw your strength from?
The spirit of never say die. Never say die. Mm-hmm. You meet a situation, you hold those ons, mm-hmm. and do it. Because God seated on the throne doesn't know anybody else in that situation but you. Madam, it is true. I started a school, the very first school, because I need to also say about history to answer that question. ACK Metongo, where I met 11 students from Form 1 to Form 4. Just a week before me, there is a lady principal who was sent there and was so saved, and they said, those were her ones to me. Your spirit is in Ifuate. And she said that as she was running away. Then I thank God she said that, because that's how I became a principal. I went down to the school. I met people that were really down. There were no teachers. The school was just registered and there was no TSC teacher. I was the first one. So I encouraged them, I told them, here we shall get the students until we refuse them. You keep confessing positively. Every situation, you look at it and they say, this one, come and see me, Mininani. That is what has kept me moving. I left this school again when it was at 5.5. And of course, with very many students. More students than the bigger school that I was to go and inherit. Take over from there. The thing is, I have had friends, not only in schools, but even in churches, but even in homes, complaining about the situations. It is not about complaining, it is about fixing. And that is me. Thank you. With the help of God.
Amen.
Remember also in the PCA as we take me to or we say, it's I will do this as God helps me. Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Amen.
It's not about complaining, fixing. So if you don't fix it, who will? Who will? Wonderful sharing. Thank you very much. In this country, we talk about more and more, and especially even with the new constitution and all that. And of course, theologically, I mean, the cross, the ground at the cross is leveled. We are all at the same level before God. So the question of equitability, the question of equality. Madam Jedida, please share with us. And we say, Rev Kavuva will bear witness, we say that God has a preferential option for the poor. We talk this in liberation theology. God seems to be always on the side of the suffering, the poor. So if you're not serving those ones, then you're on your own, mainly. If you're not hearing the cries of the people, you're on your own. And even in the school situation, if you're only moving with the affluent and those who have it, then most likely you're not with God so much. Of course, God is God of all, but preferably with these ones that need to be lifted. Madam Jedida, I know the story of Alliance Girls is such that, of course, everybody would want to have their child there. And even people who can make that call at that hour would want their children there. Yet there are these children who by merit, they have worked very hard, but they cannot make it. And they don't even know in which county Alliance is. Please tell us how you've managed to make sure that there is equality in the access to education at Alliance, so that even that child does not miss out on the position that they have merited, they have worked so hard for. She can have the mic.
Thank you, Rev. I said I've not been at Alliance for long, but I have had experience for the Form 1 admission in 2023 and also in 2024. And I think that is the toughest time that a principal at Alliance, and I know many other schools, have. I'll refer to what Reverend has said. The girls who had chosen Alliance Girls High School, in the year those who did KCPE in 2023 wanted to join the school in 2024, there were 138,000 girls. 138,000 girls chose Alliance. And the same Alliance could only admit at the very highest 600 girls, at the very highest, after a lot of pushing. Now you can imagine 138,000, you can only accommodate 600. I would want to say that the greatest guidance is the fear of God. And I want to say here without any embarrassment, there are a lot of temptations. A lot of temptations. There is also a lot of coercion. Coercion, as I said, somebody will call you and doesn't give you even a chance to say whether there is space or not. But you have to stand firm, because you can't expand Alliance to accommodate 138,000. So all those girls who are admitted at Alliance Girls, all of them, whether they are able to pay fees or not, whether they know where the school is or not, they come to Alliance. If they don't know where Alliance Girls is, we trace them using the sub-county directors. If they can't pay fees, and if they don't have fare to come to school, we go for them with the school van, where they are. That is level number 1. There are those other opportunities that we know, the requests that are made across the board, we merit them. And once you merit, you don't even want to know who requested. You give the feedback online. Download the letter. Your child has been admitted. And I did have some experiences last year when people thought they have been conned. When they were told to download the letter. And some of them could not believe. They drove all the way from wherever to come and confirm that they have not been conned when we told them to download the letter from there. But all this I'll say, it's about the fear of God. And we say we are serving God. Even if you wanted to please all the affluent people, you won't. So like Reverend has said, I choose to work with the lowly. I choose to work with those who are not able. I choose to look for those who cannot bring themselves to Alliance. And I make that deliberate choice. For any other person, you get your letter where you are. I do not even want to know you. And I do not want to know who you are. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very, very much. Mr. Kamau, you've had a journey, and I'll give you 1 minute to just take us through. But just as you answer that, please let us know, what is it that you see in these children that come to your school that makes you go out of the way? Sometimes I've called you at odd days, and I ask him, I think your home is in Thika or somewhere there, yeah? And then he tells me, Reverend, I'm in school. And I'm thinking, it's a day school. I mean, so what is it that you see in these children that drives you to work on overdrive, to be so committed?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me say, during the time we are clearing school, we used to fill career forms. And with me, I had a pride, I want to be a graduate teacher. If you don't qualify, I want to be a diploma teacher. And if not that, I wanted to be a primary school teacher. Therefore, I am where I wanted to be. And my history has inspired me, and I've enjoyed a lot of support from the time I took headship. And it inspires me every day whenever I'm getting support. I want to start by the time I became a deputy 2004. My mentor was Mr. Kewara, who retired from Meru School. And I became a principal at PK Secondary School, a school he was warning me to when I really wanted to go there because there was hardship allowance. But when I went there, in 3 years, I was not working well with the principal, and he was not comfortable with me. Possibly, I did not push his vision, but I wanted to do what I used to see my principal do. And in the process, I felt we could not work together, and I felt he was not treating me well. I felt I happened Taisha. And I went to the county director. And that time it was provincial director, Nyeri, was Mr. Nyagosia. And I told Mr. Nyagosia, I have a perturbing principal. And with me, I feel I want to become a principal. And if I'm not serving him, I'm not serving well as a deputy, mimi nataka kuisha. I requested him, can you take me to a principal you know is very, very influential, that by one call, I'll get my letter that I am, what did you used to call it? Demoted, Give me a principal mwenye unajua na nguvu. That time, those that know Thika, there was Mr. Kairi, principal Kairi, Mr. Mwangi. I was saying, give me Mwangi. Huyo najua atanimaliza dakika moja. If I'm not working, I don't deserve to be anybody's deputy. I was told we will not give you that one, we'll give you another. And I was given a lady principal who happened to be a very close friend to Regoiboni. Very close, calling each other every day. And I said, God, thank you. Nitaisha, if I'm not a worker, nitaisha hapa. And it really worked. I served her, and I gotten into principalhood of a school of 25 children. And that school, I could get even parents coming to ask for vacancies with the 67 marks. And I would tell the parent, this one of yours is a university material. It's only that he gotten scared in class 8. And I was able to admit 112. And I was able to take that year, one to the university. And every year the number kept rising. In 3 years, I left it at 304. From there, I went to Getuamba Secondary School. I did not look for it. I found it at 290, a stable school. I left it at 562. And the number of universities, I started with 3. They were not taking anybody. 3, 7, 10, 14, 17. Then came this animal, delocalization. I found myself in Kajiado, and I found the school at 380. They had taken 10 to the university that year. The school had a good tradition. Very good tradition set by the principal, one of the people that is here with us. And in that school, that 1 year, I asked parents to support me to facilitate remedios. And I told them that I want to resign if I don't take that, support me. But deep in me, I was not out to resign. Surely you can't resign. I thought if I took 15, it will be okay. I'll tell them the number has gone down by. But come KCSE, and that has given me a lot of peace. Come KCSE, the director of studies counted the university entrants, they were 28. So see, I'm near 30. I said it's okay. The following morning, once I went to school, I got 2 more. They are 30. So I called a parent meeting and I told them, see, I told you I will resign if I don't get 30. The number was 30. From there, I have continued enjoying support. The number the following year grew to 32, to 34, to that again, and last year to 54. And we are soldiering. I don't know what I'll do if we don't get 70 this year.
You resign, maybe. Wow. I mean, what an experience. We thank God for you and for the sharing. And now we are wrapping this up. So, and this is how we wrap the PRESPA program on CAC TV. I'll give you a chance to give a 30-minute, 30-second parting shot on whatever area we've covered, just a one-liner to encourage the delegates. Let's go.
Why church in schools? Kenya has 8 goals. Goal number 4 is to provide sound social values to our learners. Let us do that. You are called to make a difference. You are called to serve. And God who called you will be with you. And our schools will shine. Not only our schools, but you as an individual and your family. God bless us.
Thank you.
Praise the Lord. I am a saved person. Before, when I was a younger teacher, I could not understand weak students. Indisciplined students and no room in me. Today, and that's why I'm saying I'm saved. I have some evidence of handling bangy cases, sitting down with them, and seeing them finish school. Saying, if it were not for Murora, who sat me down, I would not have finished. I'm a saved principal. Thank you.
Be saved too. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I would wish to say this. The job that, or the work that God has given us is good work. It has challenges, but allow me to share with you something I learned from the military. I was a little bit militarized when I stayed with them. Do not be distracted by the noise in the battlefield. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Mine is to remind everybody that whenever you are meeting the many challenges like we learned today, know that you are the lead educator, lead educationist that can change the game. You are the lead teacher. Every other challenge, why don't you use it as a mean to improve yourself? You go to very low school, you are the one who is in a position to take it high. You go to a school that's performing well, the better. If your parents are challenging you, they are building you. Thank you.
Wow. And on that note, we thank you very much for your time. Thank you for giving us your ears. Thank you for encouraging us. And thank you, our panelists, for sharing your experiences, your lives even, and becoming even vulnerable. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. We may not resign. Some of us, if you resign, if you tell the parent you are to resign, what is going to happen? The following year they will be dancing on the road. I believe that was a very entertaining session, isn't it? Have we enjoyed it? It also tells us that for those who are handed over schools with only one classroom, which was shared by all the classes and the staff room and the principal, we still have a chance. We can all climb up to national schools. We'll move from that ground to about 100, 200, kafike 5, 8, paka 16. I'm happy that one of us here managed from 25 students, now akona 16. Sio ni Mungu. So hata sisi wale wakona CDF schools tujue tunaelekea 1800. Sio ni maombi mzuri. So thank you. There will be a vote of thanks, but later there is an announcement. RN Muthe to see the registration of issues. Then we are not going to move a vote of thanks right now, but after this last session today, and this one is on PRESPA business, which will be done by our chair Rede, and I think this will be the last session today. Remember, we said yesterday we reorganize our program such that we are through by tomorrow evening, so that we don't go to Saturday. Sawa sawa. So tuvumilie kidogo. Sawa sawa. So help me to welcome our chair for this session. 1, 2, another one. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's appreciate our chair of the session. Pigia nzuri. I want to assure you that I will not take 10 minutes. I'll take 5, at most 7. Sio ni sawa? I can tell we under a heavy day, but it was a good day. Was the day good? We understood so much, but it is also because we agreed